So hard times, hard times have arrived. Welcome to Angry After Dark. And guys, I don't know what to say. This is unbelievable stuff, but this is just the way things that are going right now. So hard times have arrived. You have a lot of women now who are expressing that they're looking for assistance and for help as more men are walking away from relationships, dating. These videos are all over social media. When I've done a bit of research, what I'm seeing here is things heading in not such a positive direction, especially with the cost of living only increasing and getting worse. Why are so many women now trying to make a return to traditionalism while still holding on to the narrative of empowerment? And what does this mean for men and the economy going forward, or society just in general? Watch it and end of the video to have those questions answered. Also, don't forget. Also, today's video comes from Destro Reborn. His channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go and check out his other content. Also, guys, don't let them convince you that first go and check us out over on Rumble. Shout out to the Rumble peeps. Our Rumble's linked in the description of the video. And don't let them convince you that you will own nothing and be happy. Go and check out Angry's Crypto Academy, where we teach you how to buy, sell, trade, invest in crypto, and make massive profit. It's also linked in the description of the video. And now let's go ahead and jump right into the first video. The first video actually does come from The Desirable Truth, and we'll go ahead and see what women are actually saying right now.
If we were to get together, what would you expect me to pay for in the relationship?
Going out to eat, and then just like little things. And eventually, if we're going to live together and all that, I'd expect you to take on more responsibility.
I'm covering rent, light, internet, groceries, your hair, nails, makeup, lashes, lipstick, shoes, clothes, everything?
Yeah, why not? Can you do it?
Of course, but why should I?
Because you're a man.
So because I'm a man, I'm expected to cover everything if I were to date you.
Right, and I'm a woman, right? And you'd expect me to put out, correct?
Absolutely.
You would expect to have relationships with me.
I mean, absolutely.
So I'd expect something back because I could at one point bear your children, and I would expect, if I'm going to have 9 months of pregnancy, to be able to have a husband who can take care of me.
Is this a new mindset that you have, or did you always think this way?
It's fairly new. I think when I was younger, there were points where I was more okay with paying and things like that, and I just found that it really does not benefit you at the end of the day. Like, you could pay and you could like really give more, but it's not the best. If you think about it, the world was kind of built for men.
In what ways?
I mean, it's a patriarchy. I know that's everybody hates that word. If you're a man, you probably hate that word, but the system is kind of designed for men, you know?
Do you think we'd still have as much success as we are as a society if we were in a matriarchy?
I'm not sure, but I do think that, you know, we live in a patriarchal society and there is still like so much misogyny in the world, and that's just the truth, you know? It's just the truth.
So basically, guys, I said this quite some time ago. Women would say feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight together. Feminism got us everything that we wanted. Now let's fight for one another. So, you know, I also said that while the label feminism may go away, the legacy of feminism would live on. And we're seeing that now, where modern women are basically trying to continue holding on to all of the power and privileges that they've gained as a result of feminism, but they want to shift the responsibility and accountability as well as the consequences now onto men. And this is just pretty unbelievable when you look at everything that men are going through in society right now, the hardships that men are passing through, and there is literally no empathy for men at all. It just makes you realize just how bad things actually are for us as a society as a whole, and why more and more men are just going to continue seeking out minimalism. It's a sad reality, but it's a reality that people need to wake up to and need to understand that that's where we are right now. There's really no more coming back from this. There's no more collectivism. This is it. Men are essentially done completely with relationships. I mean, we do not live under a patriarchy. We live under a matriarchy. Women basically set the tone of society right now. Notice when he asked, do you think we would be better living under a matriarchy? She basically refused to answer the question because they know that women have all the power. But now what they're trying to do is hold on to all of the privileges and shift that onto men. She even said that her mindset is recent. So before she didn't think this way, but now recently she started thinking this way because of consequences. So now this basically is a new wave of feminism, shifting the blame, shifting the responsibility and accountability back to men while maintaining all of the power and privileges that they've obtained over the last 100 years or 100 plus years. I mean, it's as if no one saw that coming. When you look at all of the things that men are struggling with today, the hardships men are dealing with, it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really sad, but it's just something that we all have to deal with. But the fact is that now there women are coming back and saying, men, you need to step up. You need to be good men. You need to be providers. Basically, what they're asking for are simps. They are asking for simps. They're demanding simps. And there's really nothing that's going to change. Trying to shame men back is just not going to happen. Okay, they don't comprehend this. I once said to a lady who came to the channel saying that we're brothers and sisters, we need one another. But she said that, and then she talked about physical intimacy being one of the problems that led to all of this, where we should not be taught, where it should not be about women and men and physical intimacy. It should solely be about us helping one another and blah blah blah. And she expressed that she was an older woman, not in a relationship and so forth. And I explained that, if you're an older woman, you express that you don't even want that you abstain from intimacy. You don't want to be married. You don't want to have children, right? You're an older woman now. And I said that from a man's perspective, you're not going to have the same options that you would have otherwise. So you would have to turn to the state to help subsidize your living. Right? She became very angry, and I read that comment to you a while ago, and she began making like accusations towards me and all kinds of stuff. And that kind of just illustrates where we are right now, where women are in full blown panic mode, because you have to think about it. Men are minimalist by nature. Women are not. Women are basically saying to themselves, how am I going to survive? What am I going to do? I mean, I don't, I, this is just really it. And for men are just kind of chilling, because we're minimalist. But women need many more things to be happy. I mean, even when they have so much, they still struggle with that. But women need a lot more. Women are not going to be able to live in a single bedroom, with a mat, not even a mattress, a mat, or no mat at all, sleeping on the floor, living out of a backpack and happy as hell. Because that's how most men are. Not all men, but most men can be very happy. So I've condemned I've condemned, and of course I don't dislike these guys, but I've condemned them because I was jokingly, but not entirely jokingly, the woodsmen. Don't get me wrong. If I was lost in the woods and I didn't know where to go, I would definitely want one of those woodsmen to come and pick me up in their big arms and carry me out of the woods. I am not playing games. All right. If I am in danger, I want a big strong man to rescue me. All right. I am not a strong. I do not have that strong narrative, like the whole "I'm a strong woman" or the whole "I'm a strong black woman" garb. No, 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 no. If I am in danger, I want a big, burly, bearded man to come and pick me up and rescue me and take me to safety. There is nothing wrong with that. And some women will go, "Oh, women and Sims, you're a sissy, you're this, you're that." Bro, I'll be alive. I will be alive. Are y'all kidding me? I will be alive. I will be wed. I'll be well. I'll be well fed. I'll be taken care of. I'm going to if I'm panicking, these men are there. They're going to help me to calm down and get through the situation because they understand. Y'all got to be kidding me. You don't want them, I'll take. Listen, I'm being real. If you don't want them, I'll take them. That's what women understand. Like, you don't want these men, we'll take these men. As men, we'll take these men. Because women don't understand the world. Men hold the world up. Men are the ones who hold everything together. There was a lady, very sadly, there was a lady who fell. There was a lady who was walking on a trail in I believe it was Brazil with friends. I don't know if it was friends. It was friends. I don't think her family was with her, but she was walking on a trail, I believe, with friends along a volcano that became active, and unfortunately, she slipped. She ended up in the volcano. She was evidently alive still. They were able to see that she was alive with drones, and they did not reach her, unfortunately, in time. Now, she was clearly alive. They could see her moving around, but she was obviously in a lot of pain. And there was a guy, a tour guide. They actually took them like 4 days, I think, to actually get to her. But there was a tour guide who actually climbed down into the volcano, evidently the exact same day that all of this happened. And by the time he got to her, she had already left this realm of existence. He then stayed with her remains for like days to protect them so they did not fall over the cliff until rescuers could finally get there and then recover her. And they actually did perform a review of the remains, and they found that they saw all of the different things that had occurred within her unit, and it was definitely she definitely left this realm of existence as a result of the decline into that volcano. But look at the situation where a man actually climbed down and tried to be there for her and save her, but he still didn't make it in time. But the state but the state, I don't know if the state ended up not being, I don't know if it was in Brazil or Indonesia. It could have been in Indonesia as well. But the state could not make it to her prior to that. And but but still, a man was able to get there. Now imagine a world without men. And this is the way that women are treating men in society today. And they don't comprehend that there's really nothing left. There's really nothing left. Men are basically done. Men are done with the relationships. Men are done with everything. Men are sick and tired of it. And it's unfortunate that it's come to this, but it's come to this. You know? It's very sad. It's very upsetting. But women basically made the rules. Women set the rules in place. They basically changed the rules, have now made the rules. They broke the original rules. The social contract is gone. But now that, they're losing the game, they want they want men to come and bail them out because of patriarchy, as this young lady said. Like, you have to wonder, what the heck is this? But you have to understand that we should never have expected accountability from them, because it was never going to actually happen. It wasn't going to happen. Let's look at some of the comments here. Let's look at some of the comments. Sir says, "What's going on, Master Angry?" That's what Brandon would always say. He says, "What's going on, Master Angry Sama? My adopted Gen X brother from another mother, although you're a Zennial born on the cusp of Gen X." I don't, I always, I like the Gen Xers. They've never rejected me. They've never rejected me, so I have no problem. Shout out to Sir. No problem with Gen X. Gen X has warned Gen Z so many times, and Gen Z doesn't listen. Gen X has warned Gen Z that if there's like an intergenerational war, the millennials are going to all side with them. This is something the Gen Xers have pointed out, and Gen Z, but Gen Z has kind of just like gone silent recently. Gen X was right about them. Basically, turn off the Wi-Fi, take away their allowance, they go radio silent. Jesus. These kids, I tell you, these poor muffins. These poor, miserable muffins. Poor, miserable muffins, There's not a lot of options for them out there. You guys remember this game, Celeste? That's the game you're seeing playing in the background. That was one hard game. I remember completing this game. It's one of my most favoriteest games ever. I think they added some other levels afterwards. I beat the game. I didn't like complete every like challenge in the game, but I did beat the game. It was an amazing game. For me though, like, I felt like they changed the character's identity after the game came out. It stars a girl who is climbing up a mountain, and I think the name of them. I don't know if the mount. I forget if the name of the mountain is Celeste. Yeah, I think the name of the mountain is Celeste, and her name is Madeline. But then after the game came out, one of the I don't know if it was the creator of the game or or developer of the game. I think it was the creator of the game. They basically revealed that Celeste is actually not just it's still female identity, if you get what I'm saying. So they are a member of the, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, they're a member of the rainbow community. Again, nothing wrong with that, but it just felt kind of a little disingenuous to me, where it's like you present the character as one person and then they change, and then you change the identity of the character. It's like kind of like telling us, okay, you're buying a game, and then you're watching a movie and this is what you're getting, and then suddenly saying, oh yeah, you're actually playing with something different from the very beginning. So you sold us one thing and you gave us another, and if we say anything, it's gonna be problems for us. So that's the society we live in. But it was one of my favorite games. I absolutely loved Celeste. But when people like do things like that, it becomes harder for me to ever reconnect with something, and as a result, it's been harder for me to reconnect with Celeste as a result of what they did there. But it's absolutely a banger, and it's a game that really centers on people dealing with ups and downs in their lives. But yeah, modern women, I mean, the decisions that they've made have now plunged them into this situation, and they don't want to take accountability. They're of course begging men to come and approach them now. You have a lot of these women who are outright begging men to approach them. John says everyone should make their own money and spend their own money. I do agree with you on that, John. Let me see here. Some of you guys are complaining about Nintendo game key cards. Let me see. SAR says, you know what needs to be talked about more? The game key cards are Nintendo's attempt to make digital purchases look better as a service than physical to presumably phase out physical media. So I agree with you entirely. I actually have a video coming tomorrow for you. I thought about releasing it today, but because of the way the YouTube algorithm works, it would not get a lot of views if I release it right now. So it's coming out tomorrow, and it's coming out tomorrow pretty early, around what time is it coming out? It's coming around 6. It's coming out around 6 a.m. Coming out at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. Or sorry, no, corrections, forgive me. 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to drop that video tomorrow. It's already scheduled. And basically, Nintendo has announced they're going to be raising the prices for Switch 1 consoles, Switch 1 games. It just happened today. Starting on August 1st, Nintendo will be raising prices for the Switch 1 consoles. So OLED, the original, and the Switch Lite. They'll also be raising the prices for all of the games on Switch 1, and they'll also be raising for both physical and digital. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. You know what's actually beneficial? I really want to sell off my Switch collection of games. So I was like, I've been holding on to it. It's like I just need to get rid of it. But now I'm realizing if the prices for Switch 1 games are going to be skyrocketing soon, this changes the game. All I have to do is basically just wait. Just wait until Nintendo raises the prices. And the value of, because I have over 70 Switch games, all brand new, all sealed, and I just despise Nintendo right now. It's like, oh my gosh, I need to get rid of this collection before Nintendo screws things up even more. But this can work in my favor because these are all brand new games that are completely sealed. I spent from November, like Black Friday of last year to like earlier this year, building up my collection, and then Nintendo became totally evil. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going straight digital with Steam and GOG. Let me get rid of this collection. I don't even care about Nintendo anymore like that. I'll focus on things like emulation if I want to play those games legally. But because I have the digital version for virtually all of these games as well that I purchased from Nintendo, but I also wanted to keep the physical. But Nintendo's now like, yeah, we can also shut down the Switch whenever the original Switch, whenever we feel like it is now a service. I'm like, I want to get out, but I'm thinking like now that Nintendo's going to be jacking up the prices of every single game. The games that I have that I purchased for 60 or even less than 60 on discount, and many of these games probably are no longer going to be available for sale in some cases, I can make back pretty much everything I spent on the collection. Maybe I could even make some more money on it. So I'm thinking about it like just wait until like April 1st, maybe even early September, see what the aftermath is, and the value of that library will probably go up. I could make some decent money off it. So thinking about doing that because I was gonna get rid of it probably this month, but now with what's happening, this that entire collection of and these are not like cheap like boring games. Like these are like bangers, third part like not AAA games, all of that stuff, $60 games. I mean, I have Legend of Zelda brand new. I have Breath of the Wild, and I also have Tears of the Kingdom. Those are just two of I'm giving you the example. I also have another copy of Breath of the Wild used, which I had picked up and physical, and GameStop kind of screwed me over on that. What I ended up doing with, and they gave me like an ugly case. What I ended up doing was I went onto it wasn't even the original case for the game. What I did was I went onto eBay and I just purchased an empty case for Breath of the Wild, and then I took the cartridge from the ugly GameStop case because it was in the real case for Breath of the Wild that I had bought from GameStop because I didn't know they were going to do that. I bought it online, and then I just put it in the new case. I got the case for like 5-10 bucks, and now I have like basically a nice version of Breath of the Wild used that I can also sell undoubtedly for like pretty good money physically because people are going to be desperate for that. I've got a couple of them that I bought like from GameStop like that, so that are used, and everything at like over 70 games are brand new sealed. So I'm gonna get rid of that collection by the grace of God and just put that money towards things like that. And I just like, and yeah, because like everything is going downhill. And my goal right now is to basically just continue growing my business. I'm going to be opening up an academy for you guys, teaching you how to become a YouTuber and make a full time or part time income, whatever you want to do from YouTube. Because right now, YouTube is becoming the only job out there. So it's really important that you diversify with crypto, diversify with YouTube. Like a lot of it's not about becoming an influencer, it's about becoming an authority on something, gaining access to an audience whom you can provide value to, and then you can help, and by providing value you're then rewarded for said value. So that's the honest to goodness key. That's the absolute goal that we're going for. And everyone needs to basically do that. Modern women, on the other hand, women were not designed to live without a husband. So of course women are beginning to panic right now. They're beginning to say we need someone, men need to come and rescue us, blah blah blah, despite you miss all of these decades of feminism telling men that we don't need that, they don't need them, that men need to go away and let women rule, let women take control of things. And men basically listen, did exactly what women told them, and now they're basically facing consequences for that. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But men are never going to come back. The only place that men are headed, if it involves a relationship and returning to society, is going to be a society overseas, because society for Western society is pretty much cooked. When I was doing research using AI basically said, yeah, Western society is cooked. The best that a man can do is focus on minimalism, and the system is not going to last very long when it finally does give away and no longer is in force. What it'll be replaced by very likely will be tribalism, and under a system of tribalism in the United States, specifically the US, you're not going men and women are not going to have the same freedoms or rights that they enjoy right now. And of course that tribalistic system is not going to last forever. But when everything basically collapses, the hope, the hope would be like, oh well, it ends up with something like Cyberpunk 2077 from it with Night City, where it's very a high-tech dystopia, but people still kind of enjoy it. But it's still pretty messy. No, that's you're not going to get Cyberpunk 2077. That looks like a utopia compared to the new society that we're going to have, where basically no one is going to have those of us that make it into it will not have the rights and the freedoms that we enjoy right now. And basically everyone's going to have to contribute something, or you're not really going to survive. Women are not going to have women that for many of the rights and privileges that they have under the system today given to them and protected by men won't really exist. And men, even as men ourselves, many of the freedoms that we have will also be gone, and we'll just basically have to comply with the demands of strong men if we want to survive, if we want to continue living. And women don't comprehend that. Men are not free to do whatever we want. We have to obey and submit to stronger men, to the state, or to stronger men. Women, on the other hand, think that, it's different for them. But yeah, ladies, we'll just see how things work out on that front. Spoiler alert, it's not going to be wonderful. MK Fitness, our mobile gaming who's living the life over in the Philippines. Balls are empty, belly is full. Says they living in their cars now, trying to make it trendy. They absolutely are, and they're trying to make it trendy, which is sad. And then you have to wonder where are their fathers. Granted, many of them did not have fathers growing up because things really went downhill for Gen Z, and of course, even worse for Alpha, and it's going to be even worse for Beta. But it's just unfortunate. And of course, many, they will never really learn their lesson. They will scorn the consequences. They will deflect them to men, but they will never actually take accountability to say that they chose this, they went down this path. They could have found a good guy when everything was like this. I saw a comment from this man who basically said that his wife's girlfriends are always telling her to leave him, his single girlfriends, and it's like, wow, it's she has not listened to them. But this is what's going on right now, where you have single women who made these decisions, who made these choices, who are now trying to bring their friends down, who have steady and stable relationships, to leave these men so that they can join their sisters and now all be single as they claim to be happy when the reality is that they are miserable. Amer says that I gave away my Mario Red Switch with $700 worth of games to trade for a laptop. Nice. Yeah, everyone's heading for gaming for PC gaming right now. Steam gaming. All you have basically, there's like all roads lead back to Steam at this point, because they're the most ethical company, and all they have to do is just not be evil like the other companies, and they win. Let's see here. Amir says that, and then people will use the excuse that people can spend on what they want, but when you spend on crap that comes from organizations that misuse you, you're a part of the issue. I agree. I do agree. Nintendo is definitely Amir says the gaming industry is cooked. It 100% is. I have in the video that I'm releasing tomorrow that I told you about. I actually talk about how I showed you. I talk about it. And I read an article which basically one of the founding members of the Xbox team says that the Xbox brand or Xbox consoles are dead, and she explained exactly why. She was with Microsoft for decades, I believe, and then I guess they fired her. But it seems like she probably was like raising storm like hell in there, because she said that she's not pleased with what has happened. She worked so hard to build Xbox only for it to come to this. She seems to be expressing that the console is over. The console, Microsoft won't be producing any more consoles, and the ROG Xbox Ally is just an example of things to come. So the next console from Microsoft may very well will not even be a console that they make themselves, but rather it will probably end up being a console that's made by a company like ASUS, where where it may not even be probably may not even be compatible with Xbox One or Xbox Series X games. A PC. It'll basically be a PC that allows you to play my X game, PC games from Steam, from GOG, other stores, Epic, and then of course Microsoft's games and access to Game Pass, because basically Microsoft is now banking everything on Game Pass. And evidently this week, it's not even it's I don't even know if it's truly rumors at this point. They're saying that a lot of people are going to be fired from the Xbox division this week, despite the fact that they just had the Xbox showcase where they showed off tons and tons of games. It does seem that they're moving towards becoming literally not only just a publisher, but literally releasing their games on Game Pass. And in fact, even being a publisher, it's hard to even call them a publisher when their games are now costing $80 to $100 starting in the fall. For example, the Outer Worlds will cost $80 just for the base game. That doesn't include everything like all the levels and everything else. If you want the full experience, you'll have to spend $100 for it. So it's insane. So I mean, and Nintendo, like the Nintendo raising their prices up, like Switch One price games, the price for Switch One games, that's only going to result in other and like every company trying to do this as well. If you look at like Steam right now, the Steam summer sale is going on, and the discounts just are not that great. There are some good discounts for games that I already have, but when you look at a game and like they're selling it for like $31 and it's like usually 70, you realize just how much you're being robbed right now. And a lot of these and then a lot of games in general just don't have discounts, because and I created a poll like asking Why is it that like there's so few? Why is it so? Why is it that so many companies are just not giving discounts like they did before? Or the discounts are so terrible during the Steam sale this year? And I asked, is it because companies don't have to or they can't afford to? And most of you responded, it's because they can't afford to, because people are not buying games in the same way they used to. While PC is doing well, people are beginning to pull back because of the economy. And Nintendo clearly seems to believe that, they have as much cover as they want because their fans will buy everything. My theory is that the Switch 2 is actually not performing as well as people like to claim it is. Yes, they sold 3.5 million units in the first 4 days, but if you notice, we haven't had any more updates from Nintendo since. And in terms of software sales, third-party publishers are reporting that they're selling fewer games lower than their lowest estimates, specifically because of the game key cards. And Nintendo basically responded to it by saying recently, by in an investor meeting, by saying get people will just simply have to get over the whole game key card thing. So the developers, the publishers who are publishing games on Nintendo consoles, and the consumers who are furious about game key cards will have to get over them. This is insanely, this is Nintendo. Our publishers, our third party publishers, partners, and our fans will just have to get over it, because the game key cards, the actual disc costs around $16 now, which are a little bit more than that, because they went from $1, as low as $1 on Switch One, to now $16 minimum for these 64 gigabyte cards. So yeah, they screwed over they screwed over their publishers, because it's way too expensive to release a physical game, because you're going to take a much bigger loss. It makes more sense now not even releasing your game on the Switch 2 at all. And again, Nintendo, they're under the leadership of Doug Bowser now, and Furukawa. I don't even want to say Mr. Furukawa. I could just say Furukawa. I say Mr. Iwata out of respect, but I just call the current CEO or whatever Furukawa, because he is doing a terrible job. Him and his buddy Bowser, they are, who came over from EA, is destroying the company the way that Don Maverick destroyed Xbox. And you can see that Xbox never recovered because of the actions of Don Maverick. Phil Spencer could not save it. And yeah, this is just really the situation that we are in right now. It's a very, very unfortunate situation. With that said, I also need to go and take a pee. Yeah, gotta go and take a pee. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go take a pee. Be back in like 2-3 minutes. You guys can go and grab a drink or something, and then I'll be right back. But I'll be back in like 2-3 minutes, guys. Just gonna go take a quick pee. I'm here in the background, just taking a sippity sip of water. I'll be back in a moment. I think one of the things that a lot of guys, a lot of people have to remember, men have to understand, especially, and by now you should know this as a man, is that it's that no one is coming to save you. As a man, no one is coming to save us. Women, on the other hand, who are bailed out of every bad decision that they make, they believe that someone will always come to save them. And if the state doesn't save them, then they can guilt and shame men into saving them because it's our obligation. Because we are men, we were created to serve them, and women were created to be served by men. Yeah, so we actually have the video from Destro Reborn. Again, his channel will be linked in the description, so that you can go and check his content out. I have him linked there. We're going to go ahead and jump into his video momentarily. Like I said, guys, don't forget to follow me over on Rumble. Shout out to people watching on Rumble. I love you more. Love you more. Because this other platform that starts with U and ends with tube, has become so problematic for me and so many others. So we have to diversify. So definitely go and follow me over on Rumble. Where we still have some freedom of speech. It's linked in the description of the video. There are exclusive videos over there that you will only find there, that you will not find on the tube. So go and jump over there if you miss hearing as much angry as you used to. But let's go ahead and jump into the video from Destro. Before we jump in, let me look at some of the comments. Let me look at some of the comments before we jump into Destro's video. Ashley said, "Angry. Have you seen the who said that trend on TikTok? Average Man Unplugged did a video on it. I have not seen that yet. I don't think so. Let me see here. Amir says that you're one of the best YouTubers for this. Thanks. Let's see here. Happy says America is in no shape for a catastrophic global event, which heavily relies on things we must not speak of. That's how bad it is on the tube. You can't say certain things. And let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, you got a lot of you are pissed off about Nintendo in the comments. So many of you are beyond pissed off. Even Ashy, who's before we got so many Nintendo subscribers, is complaining about Nintendo. So yeah, Nintendo pissed off so many damn people. Nintendo has pissed off so many people. Tyler says that Nintendo is so far behind with the times. It's insane. It can't even do what PS4 does. It's pathetic. Like if you would compare Cyberpunk, when I looked at Cyberpunk 2077 side by side, the Switch 2 version versus the PlayStation 4 version looks better to me. And honestly, I just don't see the Switch 2 running God of War with the same visual fidelity as the PS4, which runs it it looks pretty much the same on PS4 as it does on PS5 or PS4 Pro. And that says a lot. That's not really going to happen. I don't think that can really happen even with DLSS on the PS on the Switch. That's the thing. Like these games are running using DLSS. Cyberpunk is running using DLSS, and it does not look as good as the PlayStation 4 version with no DLSS. I mean, what the heck does that really mean for the future? Because that's strongly suggesting that the Nintendo Switch 2 will now be multiple generations behind. Like we're talking about 2 generations behind because we're heading into the PlayStation. Let me see this. We are heading into the PlayStation 6 era very soon, probably within the next 2 years and 3 years max. Maybe as early as 2026, even if Xbox launches their next console then. And you're telling me that you're going to have a console that's supposed to be on the market for 10 years or almost 10 years, like the Switch was, and it's supposed to compete with these other consoles. So it's going to be 2 generations behind. Like the Switch 2, to be very honest, is running in many ways closer to it's running closer to a souped up Xbox 360 than even an Xbox One. Souped up Xbox 360, and it offers significantly less value. It says a lot. Of course, I have my huge back catalog, so there we go. Amir says that women act like they can't be broke. They absolutely do because they always fall back on men, and they believe that men will always be there to rescue them because that is our duty and our obligation and what we are created for because they have been conditioned this way. But things are changing. The video that we have again is from Destro Reborn. We're going to jump into it, and it's titled "Influencer Begs Men to Approach Her After, she gets to a point where she's now older and fewer men are approaching her." It actually said hit the wall, but I was being very polite.
Can we please normalize men coming up to women again? I'm so annoyed that the feminist movement and all these very entitled females now made it almost basically impossible for a man to never not seem creepy.
Yes, ma'am. This line is for purchasing visas, hotel reservations, and contraceptives. I think you're looking for the buyer's remorse line. Yes, we've been flooded lately with a lot of ex-bra burners and mansplain bounty hunters that want a refund for their donation to the feminist Cosa Nostra. Now you see that lady right there in lane 14 screaming,
"I don't need no man.
I don't need no man." I'm sure she'll be happy to help you.
And I'm just here, what the heck? If you don't come up to me, I think you're a weak man. And you may not be. You probably aren't because it'd be impossible for every man to be a weak man, especially at the gym that I go to. But, damn.
So she's blaming feminism for men no longer wanting to approach them, and making it this way, but then saying that if you don't come up to me, that means you're a weak man. So that means that she is a person who drank the Kool-Aid. This is a feminist, and now she wants to reject feminism, but then at the same time blame and shame men who will not confront her, who will not come up to her, even though moments earlier she said that the reason why men cannot come up to her is because of feminism. It's now made it creepy for men to come up to a woman for any reason whatsoever. Do you see this? So basically the only bag of tricks that they have are shame, insults, and guilt, gaslighting because they need to be right. Sign language. And they think that men are so foolish that you're going to shame men back to relationships with you. It makes literally no sense, but that's how women have been conditioned in Western society. So even though it makes no sense to us, it makes sense to them because those are the only bag of tricks that they have. They don't know how to be nice to a man. They don't know how to be fit, feminine, and friendly because they were raised to be masculine, and then to have men who will basically be both masculine and feminine and will also submit to them but lead them when they say that they're allowed to lead, but submit when women say that they want them to submit. It's a crazy concept. It's a crazy notion, and most women don't realize just where they are in the spectrum, that there just will be no men for them.
The feminists really, really ruined many things. Shame on you, feminists.
Imagine strutting around the gym in a skin-tight sports bra that barely reaches your belly button, paired with some brief boxers so snug it looks like you've got a wedgie courtesy of the high school bully. Picture flaunting more camel toe than a pack of cigarettes. Leggings so tight they seem to be holding Jay-Z hostage. Now imagine wearing virtually nothing in a gym filled with men, pinning more synthetic testosterone than Barry Bonds and Dorian Yates combined. Despite pulling out every thirst trap trick known to womankind, you only managed to grab the attention of 1 or 2 men. All this effort, yet you still can't get idolized, let alone approach. My brothers, I ask you this. Who really is the thirsty gender in this scenario?
Can we please bring back men coming up to us? Why are you so scared? Why are you so scared of coming up to us?
Here we have a perfect example of a modern woman feigning confusion to dodge accountability. Yes, the damsel in distress that swings the dumb card like a weapon. That's good stuff. This is why sometimes you'll find yourself getting annoyed while talking to a woman. It's because these duplicitous tactics are in play. She knows fully well why a lot of men are not approaching women anymore, but she's gonna act oblivious. She knows about the creep scarlet letter that society will sew on our Gymshark tank top if she makes such an accusation. And all that to sleep with a 5 or 6 that looks good in leggings, especially in our sacred dojo, otherwise known as the gym. So I implore you that if you're gonna shoot your shot, make it worth it. A Cobra certified 8 and above. Don't go out sad for a 5, because that's blasphemy.
Genuinely, I don't, I get it, rejection, okay, I get it. However, if you go up to a girl in a nice way, I don't think you can fail. Honestly.
She couldn't even look straight into the camera while telling this obvious lie. Secondly, who the hell wants to bag a chick like a harmless nice guy? No, we are all some grown-ass men. What are we, some emo kids playing flag football or something? No, we want that William Wallace Braveheart experience. We crave the raw smell of blood, guts, and wet panties that ice cold pimpin' warfare offers. We will not allow women or society to dictate to us how and when we're allowed to approach them. The nerve of these entitled women. If the current dating market won't let us play by our own rules, then we simply won't play. It really is that simple. We will take our edgy convos to places where women still appreciate banter. Yes, I'm talking to you, brother. Edgy banter is your God-given right. Don't ever settle for a script handed down by the feminist Costa Nostra. Now hold this because you almost dropped it.
Especially if you've already made eye contact several times with the girl. If you're out in public and you've made eye contact, let's say you're in the subway or the bus or just walking or getting coffee or something, and you've made eye contact with this girl multiple times, she probably thinks you're attractive.
This is a year men got enough, man. Y'all has been doing too much. Men has had enough.
Meanwhile,
guys, I got a new gym. Keep my head down. I'm just gonna go in, work out, leave. Not gonna make any friends. So far, so good. Let me tell you some of the things that have transpired since I've been there. I'll give you 4 scenarios, okay? Day 1, someone pat me on the shoulder. First of all,
she crazy as hell, like shit.
Yes, this is what they want you to approach. Women like this. According to them, if you and a woman made eye contact a few times, you should be good. I mean, this is crazy. Are you bagging a number or defusing a bomb? Let these strong, independent women continue to use these dating apps they hate. I mean, loves. Let them continue to swallow L after L. I mean, if we're being honest, most of them, we only wanted them for a few hours of service anyway. Concentrate your attention on getting that bicep vein pump. She will present herself if she's worth it. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, truly feels you.
I met my wife in the DM.
you did really?
Yeah, she slid in my DM. First time I chose to be emotionally vulnerable on the internet, I found my wife.
What did she say to you?
She sent me a picture of her like this. Yeah, she actually sent me 3 DMs and I never saw them. But she was like, that outfit is swaggy.
So why can't you just go up to her, just say something nice, compliment her, and then ask her for her number. That's it. Please?
Please?
Meanwhile,
The next day, and the guy was like, gonna add another 45 on there? I was like, now I'm trying to lay low here, okay? But I've got a dump truck, so it's really hard to, no, I just get it out. Third scenario, I'm walking into the gym, and this guy says, you go to this gym too? You're over here now too?
We can no longer deny that these women have some disgusting attitudes, and then they wonder why the men that they are attracted to will no longer approach them. Let's be totally honest here. Modern women are antisocial. Many of them cannot hold a regular conversation with a stranger without feeling victimized or without acting like a total douche. So society is taking notes and adapting to ignore them. Think about it. Even women are afraid to look at each other in public, even in admiration.
I just seen this girl in line. Her wig is beautiful. Laid to the god. Lashes. Beautiful. Lottie's teeth. But I look at her, she looks at me, and she rolls her eyes. I can see she got a stank attitude. And I'm like, you looking at me like I did something wrong. I want what you have. You got it going on. But you're looking at me like I did something wrong. I'm confused.
These nasty attitude, unapproachable women have given rise to a new breed of man. A fully hydrated, never thirsty man who steps out not to chase women, but to truly experience life. He is no longer consumed by constant thoughts of where his next slice of tenderloin will come from, because he knows 304s, post-war refugees, and single mothers are always available for quick beatation without representation whenever necessary. And when all else fails, he sleeps soundly secure in knowing the blue vibranium football sits safely tucked in his briefcase. Now these men can comfortably enjoy their pastimes and favorite hangout spots without worrying about paying for an additional leech. Another mouth to feed.
I just want to know, where are the men at? Because apparently they're at brunch. We just go to a little cafe right now. It's 2 p.m. on a Friday. Are the men not employed? I don't really understand. Because we go in there, all the women are standing, all the men are taking up all the tables. This is no jumble, no like big cafe. This is a small little like boutique type cafe. All the men are sitting there with each other, drinking matchas, eating their little pastries, their little brunch. What happened to pubs? What happened to going to a restaurant and watching a game? What happened to going to LA Fitness and playing basketball? What happened to having a job? You know, not only that, okay? Not only are they sitting across from each other, like on actual one-on-one dates and like groups of like 4 or 5 on like group dates, okay? Drinking their matchas together, eating their pastries. They're also taking their Instagram photos. I think some of them have G7X cameras. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wallahi, I swear, I wish I was lying. 2 cars down from us, there are men taking IG pictures outside on the street. I'm not even playing around with you guys. This, I should have taken it as a sign, first of all, that because there's so many men in there, the matcha was going to be ass, because this right here, ass! Worst matcha I've ever had in my life. Bring back real men. Bring back men with jobs. Bring back men who do manly things, because why were all the women in that cafe standing?
So basically, guys, they want men to submit. They want men to sacrifice, and men are walking away and they're angry about it. You know, we actually have another video from Men Only. I'm going to pull up the video in just a moment, and I'll have Men Only's channel link description of the video, so you can go and check them out as well. But I just kind of think to myself how crazy it is with women in Western society today, where they're angry, they're freaking out because all of these men have listened to them and have walked away, and now they are lonely. We have the video from Men Only. It's titled "Lonely Desperate Women Are Begging for Husbands at Whole Food Markets." And it's like, what? Like, are you serious? Is it really that bad out there right now, sis? And and the answer is yes. They don't want to take accountability for chasing men off, and they basically think they can have it however they like it, and it just doesn't work that way.
If you're single, it is literally cheaper to eat out than it is to go grocery shopping in 2025. Real talk. Seriously.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about how lonely and desperate modern women are now flocking to Whole Foods, literally hoping to find a husband in the produce aisle. The dating apps failed, the clubs are empty, and now they're begging in real life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
If you want to find a perfect man, go grocery shopping at 8:30, 9 p.m. to Whole Foods or Erewhon or whatever shop you like. I tried and literally 7 men took my number yesterday. And they were all handsome and intelligent. It may be your future husband though. Try it and let me know.
And there it is. Another woman trying to turn Whole Foods into a dating app because the men on Tinder aren't jumping through hoops fast enough. She literally said, if you want to find a perfect man, go grocery shopping between 8:30 to 9 p.m. at Whole Foods. Translation? The dating apps are dry, the bars are full of creeps, and now it's time to hunt for husbands in the produce aisle. Let's be honest here. If you think Whole Foods is hiding a bunch of six-figure earning, emotionally available, gym-toned, avocado-loving, marriage-ready men, you're not dating. You're delusional. Because here's the reality. You had access to good men in your 20s. You probably swiped left on them, friend-zoned them, or laughed when they didn't meet your checklist. Now you're walking through grocery stores like it's The Bachelor, hoping the man of your dreams is picking out kale at 8:45 p.m. The truth is, the perfect man isn't hiding in Whole Foods. He's just not interested anymore.
And guys, we're going to be jumping over exclusively to Rumble in a little bit. So we're going to jump over to Rumble, guys. If you want to continue watching, we're going to head over to Rumble. Just giving you like a 2-minute warning. We're going to jump over to Rumble in like 2-3 minutes. So head over to Rumble. It's linked in the description of the video, and I also have it pinned in the chat. Let's continue.
He's been through enough. He's seen the games, and he's not trying to be someone's last-minute lifestyle upgrade just because the apps didn't work out. So no, the solution isn't Whole Foods. It's accountability, humility, and realistic expectations.
I just gotta say it. I'm in Portland. I'm single. I'm 31 years old. And I need to know where y'all are meeting people romantically outside of dating apps, because I cannot do the dating apps. It feels like a horror show. I don't want that energy for 2025. And if you live in Portland, you need to tell me where you are meeting people. I cannot do this anymore. I do not want to go on another blind date. I do not want to do this, and please share. Thank you.
Young woman, wait. Let your fellow Portland Maine girlie tell you where you want to go for hot single guys in real life outside of dating.
This is a PSA for all of my single Portland, Maine girlies. If you're not the single Portland, Maine girlies, just scroll on. You know that all the hot guys are hanging out at Whole Foods, right? Like literally all the hot guys, that's where they are. See, I have been married for almost 3 years and in a relationship for basically 10 years, so I'm not scooping them up, but I think you should get over there if you're single. 90% of the trips I go there, no matter the time of year, I see at least one very good looking guy. I have no way of knowing if they're single or in a relationship, of course.
So now, guys, basically, she would not be looking for other men and making a video like this if she was not scoping out a replacement for her current husband. That's how messed up the situation actually is. But yeah, guys, like I said, if you want to continue watching, you need to head over to Rumble. It's linked in the description of the video. We're gonna continue having fun over on Rumble, and I can kind of cut loose a little bit. So go ahead and continue. Go ahead and if you want to have fun, if you want to continue watching, head over to Rumble.